What's up everyone, welcome back to Miami Miles. My name's Mickey. In today's video, I have been with my GT4 RS for just over 6 months. I figured it was a good time to touch base with you and tell you why this is the greatest modern Porsche built. Now I know you guys will say, Mickey, what about the 9923 RS? Well, guess what? I've driven one of those for multiple miles and I can tell you unequivocally that this car on a road is more exciting. I know it's gonna be a shocker to you. And the crazy thing is, I took delivery of this car. I paid $70,000 over sticker, which sounds nuts, but I'm not upset about it. Because the more I tinkered with this car, going initially to over axle pipes and ultimately to the sole performance, headers, catted over axle pipes and valved rear, the car continued to climb up the list of my favorite cars. And I can tell you right now, the only car I would exchange this for is my old 765 LT. So if you see me get rid of this, it's because of that. Anyways, today I'm gonna tell you why this car is so incredible. And if you're on the fence of buying one, you'll see why you should go pull the trigger. So before we take this thing on the road, I think it's important to note that I'm here in South Florida. There is no turns. There is no ability to test the car's limits. It's straight lines on the highway, which really limits the use case of a car like this. Now, I've been fortunate. I drove this car with timepiece trading at the racetrack for over 10 laps. And in those 10 laps, I was blown away. The car inspired so much confidence. I was an easy 10 seconds faster in this than my 997.2 GT3 RS. But I think it's important to note, I had 2 complaints with this car on the track. I think it's set up a little bit too conservatively and it understeers more than it should. And also the back of the car, when coming in hot into a corner, you get hard on the brakes, the back gets really squirrely and light, which doesn't inspire the most confidence. That being said, this thing is ridiculous on track, but it's not the ultimate Porsche on track. That honor belongs to the 9923 RS, which I drove last time I was in Chicago. I drove the shit out of that car and it just blew my mind. The braking, the confidence it inspired, the turn in with that double wishbone front suspension was absolutely insane. And when you wanted to dial it back, it was even softer than this on the road. Now, doesn't that mean that that makes that car an even better road car than this? No, it does not, because this thing takes the excitement and turns it up a couple notches even beyond the GT3 RS. I'm gonna make the argument in this video, this is the better road car and the 3 RS is the better track car. And to show that, a couple minutes ago, I was at the gas station and some guys came up to me, they were in love with the car. I said, let's go for a drive. I wanna see how big your smile is as we rip this thing to 9.
Oh shit.
There you go, bro. So Neil, we just met, bro, at the gas station. Well, I met you a couple days ago. I saw you tonight.
Like about a week ago.
Yeah, you're right. A week ago in the Ferrari.
Yeah, in the Ferrari.
But tonight I caught you in the 4 RS.
Ooh, the one, no. He's just going hard, though.
So, first time ever in a Porsche?
Yeah, first, I mean, not the first time in the Porsche, but on this type of Porsche, yeah.
Yeah. First ride in the GT4 RS. We're gonna do a little run here for you, okay? That's such good shit, dude. Alright. Listo. Before we get into the drive, this video is sponsored by my production company, Faster Media. A couple short years ago, my business, Lace Up Solutions, was struggling to get customers, to get leads to come in through the door to buy our software. And the moment I started working with Faster Media, our business absolutely exploded. If you're an individual or a business looking for awesome content created for you, there's a link down below. Click on it, put in your information, and Faster will reach out to you. Anyways, back to the video. So here we are in the 4 RS, and before we get into a spirited drive, let me tell you about the things I dislike about the car. I've put just over 2,800 miles on the clock. And on the road, there's really a couple things that aren't quite 100% positive. The first one is the ride. Sure, the ride is livable, and I think a lot of the other reviews, they do a poor job, and they convey to you that this car is super rough. No, it's not. It's not rough at all. But I have noticed that when you go over a rough patch of road, the car at times does become unsettled. Now the fact that the car is making significantly more power with this Soul Performance exhaust, it does lose traction because it hops over a bump and the tires come off the ground a little bit and you get the traction control flickering on the dash. A small complaint, but the ride could be a little bit softer in its comfort mode, and it could turn up maybe 9/10 of what it is in its super track mode. Nonetheless, completely livable. That's the first thing. The second thing I don't like about this car is how it sounds with the windows down from stock. I feel like this car's exhaust from stock is one of the most disappointing things in the world. There is no exhaust sound, and almost when you get up to 9,000, you do hear some of that flat six rasp, but the car just isn't soulful, so you end up just leaving the window shut to hear this glorious induction sound. Listen to that. That right there is this car's best party trick. You have the engine embedded to the back of your skull right here in the cabin. 4,000 RPM. Listen to that. And the crazy part is, you think a crazy exhaust like the one I have on this car would ruin the interior noise of the car, but it doesn't. It doesn't obstruct that incredible intake resonance in the cabin at all. It sounds absolutely incredible, and that's the big distinction between this and the 992 RS, that carbon air box. You feel like you're one with the engine. It's just unbelievable. It is unreal how good this car sounds. And even if you're not driving, as crazy as you could be, the car still extracts a smile from your face. And that's just in automatic mode, valves turned off, comfort suspension, and I'm enjoying this comfortable ride at highway speeds. And again, all the roads here in Miami are the same way, straight with no turns. So to have a little fun, what I like to do, I like to open up the valves. I like to throw it into PDK Sport, even though when you throw it into manual, it does absolutely nothing. And now we get to actuate what is perhaps one of the best transmissions in the world. 9,000. And all of a sudden, you go from being in a car to being in one of the best experiences in the world. One more time. It's nuts because as you approach that 9,000 RPM red line, you hear this rasp and it just brings you in and gives you a huge situation in your pants. Here we go. Jesus. Wow. Couple other things that I love about this car. Few cars have the level of steering feedback that this car has. Not only do you get all of the sensations from the road through the rack to your fingertips, as I've mentioned before, but you point the car where you want it to go, and the car turns in, and obviously on a highway you can't do that, but when I was on the racetrack, I was shocked at how good the turn-in was with a suspension that's nothing like the 992 GT3 or 3 RS. It turns in so well, it's so neutral, and it's got such great balance. And I think it's important right now to discuss how this compares to my 458. Well, I think that this car at speed provides so much more confidence in the 458 that you're able to just beat the shit out of the car in any road and never ever fear for anything bad happening to it. onto those brakes. You can feel the back getting a little light like I touched on before, but a hell of an experience. I think at this point in the video, it's important for me to be honest with you though. I got to the point with this car before it got the exhaust that I almost got rid of it because I didn't feel like it gave me that peak of sensation and emotion that I'm so accustomed to from my most special cars. But Soul Performance hit me up and set me up with the competition headers, the catted over axle pipes, and the valved rear. And now, for the first time in history, you could turn the windows down and listen to this. What? Sorry, cars around me. It is magical. The exhaust sounds like it's tearing a hole in the atmosphere. It is crazy. And the moment this exhaust was installed and I drove this car for more than a few miles, I was like, yes, I cannot get rid of this car for anything other than a 765 LT. And to me, that's the biggest compliment anyone could give for this car. With an exhaust, it is that spectacular because you get both the noise in the car and out of the car, and you get the benefit of an extra 50 wheel through the mid-range, 40 wheel peak horsepower, and it breaks the tires loose through first, through second, through third. I would argue that this car right now might pull on an Audi R8, and it will keep up with a Huracan, which is a big compliment for a flat six that produces just under 500 horsepower in its stock configuration. It is a machine now, a precision tool that you can enjoy on the streets, but then take to the racetrack and beat the shit out of it and leave with the biggest boner in your pants you've ever had. But why does all of this make this car so spectacular and even more fun than the 992 RS? Well, it's simple. It's simple because 99.99% of us don't spend our time at the racetrack. We spend our time at a red light like this one. And we spend our time doing U-turns like this. And all you have to do is give it a quarter throttle with the windows up, and the car just feels so damn special. And then windows down, little overpass. It is the apocalypse bundled into a 3,000 pound race car, and I'm in love. I'm in love. Right there, the car was going a little bit sideways. So what is my 6-month impression in this car? I love it. I love it, and even though I overpaid, and now I'm upside down a little bit on my down payment, I just don't care. I just don't care. If I were you and you have one of these cars, go throw an exhaust on, because that's gonna make it even more special than you think it is. And if you don't have a 4RS, you better start shopping right now. If you enjoyed that video, go down below, give me a thumbs up, give me a subscribe, comment. Let me know if you agree on the feedback that I've just given you. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm in love with the 4RS. Anyways, guys, I'll see you next video. Peace.